Welcome to the Odd Drunk Podcast. It is now time for spooks and booze, the years and beers of the spookiest time of the year. So grab your drinks, your tricks and treats, and prepare yourself for Spooktober.
Call it fate, call it karma, call it luck, or whatever the order of that is.
Yeah.
Call it fate, call it luck, call it karma, right? Either way, me and Colton here, the Odd Drunk Podcast. Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, it's the last week of Spooktober, and we are going to be recording Ghostbusters commentary. The original Ghostbusters in 1984.
The good one.
The good one. Maybe the only good one.
Yeah. I don't hate the
We'll
other
talk
ones.
about that.
Afterlife was good.
Afterlife was good, yeah. It was a good tribute to Harold Ramis. And yeah, starring Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson, along with Rick Moranis.
I miss Rick Moranis.
I do. I have a funny story about him.
I respect that he is out of the game now because he chose to be, but
yeah,
I miss him.
But yeah, we're here to record Ghostbusters. And if you haven't done one of our commentaries before, we have a few of them now. The last one we did for Spooktober was Freddy vs. Jason. That was a real goof and a gaff.
Oh, yeah, definitely go check that out.
Frederick versus Jason. But yeah, we were doing Ghostbusters. And as we do in our other commentaries, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play. I will hit play. And that's when you should hit play with me.
Yes.
Our loyal listeners. Then we're going to sync, and we're going to sync when the Columbia Pictures words come up, when the logo comes up. So
way you press
you
the
see the
play
ladies,
on time.
It's the old school version, the 80s version, Lady Statue of Liberty, basically. And then when Columbia Pictures comes up, we're going to say that line.
We're going to say,
on the ground.
Another one down.
Another one down.
On the ground. Is that what they say? I don't remember.
And Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I don't remember it completely.
So, yeah, we're going to say that. So, we're going to get this going. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. It was buffering, but we're going to sync here in a second. Yeah. Here's the Columbia Pictures lady.
And another one down.
On the ground.
Yeah, they're the words.
So, yeah, Columbia Pictures. And, we're seeing the music's coming in, the spooky music.
Yeah.
And
it just faded out. So if
faded, it's black.
If the logo just faded out.
And now we're at the library.
Then you done it right.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I don't know if me and Colton have ever said this before on the podcast, but it's one of our favorite movies, like ever.
Oh yeah, I can't get enough of this movie. There's a small list of movies that I will watch multiple times a year.
I've seen it twice in the last month.
Same, yeah.
This is my third time now.
Yeah, and I think the last time I watched it before that was like in July.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of my feel-good movies, and I just love Bill Murray, how he doesn't really want to be there, but he's there. Dan Aykroyd being Dan Aykroyd, ADHD.
Bill Murray is an enigma. He seems like he doesn't want to be there, but then at times he does seem like he's actually having a good time.
Yeah. I can never tell.
Yeah, it's just no one's been able to match that vibe.
Here we are, the interesting.
Unlike the Bruce Willis doesn't want to be there, where he just doesn't want to be there.
No. In fact, he doesn't want to be there so much that he actually sold the rights to his person to this company, this deep fake. I think they're called Deep Cake. Funny. But they do deep fakes of celebrities and people, and he sold his rights off so they could just keep making Bruce Willis movies.
That's funny.
Forever.
And he just does, so he doesn't
have
to be there.
And he doesn't have to even be there now. Bill Murray's actually going to be a new Ant-Man. I'm pretty excited for that.
I love this intro here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all freaky. I just want to go be in a library like that.
Right? Just filled to the brim.
Yeah.
Old 80s New York library. New York, baby.
Yeah, a library where, like, is this like a safe place to be or a really dangerous place to be. I'm not sure.
When there's something strange. Such a great theme from Ray Parker Jr.
They transition into the theme so well there.
Oh, yeah.
With the scream.
It's probably one of the best theme songs for a movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a soundtrack.
I used to work at a pizza place, and we made this song our theme song for like the crew that would work the shifts that I worked.
Nice.
So we would put this. The two things we did. One was Tejano Tuesdays, where on Tuesdays we would play Tejano music all day, and the other thing is that at least once a day we played this song on the speakers.
And then here's Bill Murray, the tired college professor that doesn't care. That's just there for his paycheck.
Yeah,
essentially.
I was watching.
The tired drunk.
I was listening to Weekly Planet. The way they put it, which I liked, is just this is obviously a guy who has just grifted his way through academia.
Yeah,
and that's the perfect way to describe his character.
He got his PhD, and then he's never been out of the academic sphere since.
In a way, I admire it. I kind of, as someone who wants to go to grad school, I want to be just like Bill Murray in this movie. Just not a respected academic. Just a guy who's been just coasting through it.
Yeah, and I love it. He just shocks the guy every time, even though he's right.
Yeah.
And then the girl, of course, it doesn't matter.
Like he's bullshitting.
Correct.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is just horny the entire movie.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There's a point in this movie, though, where I'm like, man, he could have really taken advantage of that situation, but he didn't. And we'll get to it. But
yeah.
And, of course, the wonderful Sigourney Weaver.
Well, there's also a point in this movie where I think it's during the scene you're talking about where he just casually mentions that it has since been used as a date rape drug. He just had some on him.
What is it?
I don't remember what the drug is called. I think back then it was not commonly used like that. It was an actual medication. So I don't think it's implying that he carries around a date rape drug on him, but I wouldn't put it past his character.
By the way, we are drinking some special things. So you got Guinness, and that's always good.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year.
Jackson made a cool
I made
concoction.
A Ghostbusters themed cocktail. I looked at a couple recipes online, and neither of them alone looked good, but I kind of combined both of them. And so my recipe, and maybe we'll write it in our Instagram post or in the description.
Sour, but in a good way.
Yeah. It's green apple pear liqueur to give it the slime color. So it's 3 parts green liqueur. Then basically 1 part I used Crystal Head vodka. Dan Aykroyd, who's on screen right now, his vodka.
Ah, there he is, the beautiful
We
man
featured
himself.
it in the last episode, and it makes its return. And I also
very good vodka, actually.
Really good vodka, yeah. And then I put an ounce of lemon juice, and then topped it off with some of your orange seltzer. I could have got club soda, but Colton said he had seltzer, and it's just regular seltzer.
But I deceived him, and he thought it was a different type of seltzer.
Yeah, I thought it was cranberry, and I thought,
it was an accident. Really I thought I had.
But honestly,
it tastes good.
I think I can make some tweaks, but
it's reminiscent of kind of an appletini.
Yeah,
but not exactly. It's a little tartar than that.
Well, that's why I put the sugar on the rim.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I think that's a good touch. Mm-hmm. Makes it taste like a candy, which is also appropriate because you get a lot of candy during Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the last episode of Spooktober.
I like that. That's a good drink. Good job.
Thanks.
Bravo.
Maybe it could go without the lemon juice since it is already so tart. But,
Oh, I love. Here comes my my favorite character.
Harold Ramis is Egon.
Yes.
Egon Spengler.
I guess what I heard is that Harold Ramis helped write the script with Dan Aykroyd for this.
Yeah.
And I love that. That would have worked if you didn't stop me.
Yeah, I love like it. Yeah, it would have worked if you drilled a hole in your head.
But I guess Harold
I don't know
Ramis,
what the outcome would
they
be.
had someone else, I don't remember who, in mind for the role, but they didn't get them, and then Harold Ramis was kind of like, you know what, I would actually like to be in the movie that I'm writing. Mm-hmm. So
he was like, yeah, I just want to be in it. So he was in it. And Dan Aykroyd, purveyor of Crystal Head vodka. And apparently his grandpa was a occult dentist or something like that.
yeah, his whole family has like
Connections to occult. Like his dad, and he helped his dad write this book about like ghost stories and stuff.
yeah.
But Dan Aykroyd's original script included John Belushi,
Yes, rest in
who had
peace.
unfortunately passed away by the time this filmed, and rest in peace. And it also included Eddie Murphy. But then it evolved, they needed another kind of funny guy, so they talked about Bill Murray. And then they got Ernie Hudson, who shows up later. He's the working man.
Yeah,
He's just coming in for a paycheck.
I've heard his character initially had more of a
and then he
role.
has a
But
bigger part in the sequel.
I do love his character though. The idea that where he's like,
he just needs a job.
where he's like, for a steady paycheck, I'll believe anything you want me to believe.
Yeah.
And I can
the
relate with it.
Original idea for the script was going to be this weird. It was going to be set in the future of 2012.
The far future.
The far future of 2012. And it was going to be Ghostbusters is like a normal job.
Oh. Huh.
And then the team with Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy were going to be like the bad ones. And it would be this weird interdimensional high budget thing. And then everyone was like, Dan Aykroyd, no.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. That's going to be a $300 million movie in the 80s.
yeah.
So, no.
Yeah.
And they decided to make it more grounded, and I'm glad.
It works so well. I think, because like there's Ghostbusters 2 is okay. The 2016 Ghostbusters
The all-female reverse version.
is okay. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's
No, people over-exaggerate how bad it is. It's fine.
it's not a bad movie. It's just also not great.
But it's also a little cringy because they try so hard to do the improv.
But I think one thing that made that is one thing where it's like everyone is always cracking jokes all
that's
the
a
time.
problem with a lot of comedies nowadays,
Yeah.
though. It's not just that movie.
But one thing that made, I think, Ghostbusters Afterlife work is it went back to this. It feels like it's set in a grounded world.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
this one's a real dirty, nasty New York. And it's just a bunch of slubby academics, professors.
Yeah.
Just doing their thing. Oh, I have it.
None of them are good professors.
I have the PKE meter.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. We're both wearing Ghostbusters.
We're wearing Ghostbusters
jackets right now.
That's what we're being for Halloween. Ghostbusters, of course. And no, apparently Bill Murray, though, like they sent him the script like 2 months prior to filming.
Yeah.
And they didn't get a response. And he just showed up.
Yeah.
He just showed up, not caring, kind of being an ass.
Yeah.
But that really plays into his character, though.
Well, there was so much improv that went into this.
Yeah.
I love the special effects of this ghost in particular. I don't know why
the
it
special
works.
effects, for the most part, hold up.
For the most part, they're good.
this movie.
There's some janky ones, but ultimately,
dogs.
the movie's shot and filmed in a way where the janky special effects
jankiness
just don't
kinda-
matter.
Well, and the jankiness
Like-
kind of adds to the flair of it,
Yeah.
It adds to the weirdness of this world. And another thing I like about Ghostbusters, and what a lot of movies don't care about doing or don't try to do, they don't explain everything. It's just like,
Yeah.
there's ghosts, but there's also some ghosts that look like Slimer, some ghosts that look like a person.
It's just vague
There's zombie guys.
supernatural
There's a
things.
god. There's a dimension and a refrigerator. Like
Yeah.
all kinds of weird stuff. And
Well,
they
it-
just have fun with it. They don't try
Yeah.
to make
It goes with the mentality that it's like, oh, this is supernatural. I love this puppet that they did.
Oh, yeah.
I've always just that's one of my favorite ones. That they
What do you think of just the soundtrack here? Like the bluesy, like
It kind of
jip and jiving.
it kind of fits the era.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because a lot of these guys I associate with like
this New York,
also movies like Animal House and things like that.
The New York in this era and this movie is so gray and like it just sucks, right?
Well, it's like I associate these guys with other movies, Blues Brothers.
Oh, here's one of my favorite parts in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
But Blues Brothers, Animal House, all these types of movies, and having a soundtrack like that is kind of indicative of that style movie that these guys often made. Oh, this scene, yeah. No, but the special effects in this movie, though, like that scene, what this movie does well that, say, the 2016 one didn't, is that the special effects in this, they all feel like they were thought out, you know?
Right, yeah.
Versus the 2016 one, it feels like a video game. It feels like
it does.
A lot of the ghosts are just really generic looking.
That's the problem. Every ghost in this movie's unique.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really works. It's not like, oh, it's just the same kind. I don't know. It's just fun. It's
the
interesting.
The effects can be janky, but they got a charm, and not just a
charm
this movie, because they're old, but a charm because someone actually like thought out that special effect pretty well.
This movie had an $80 million budget. And it ended up in the 80s making $295 million.
That's very impressive.
And as far as I know, if you adjust according to inflation, it was Sony's highest grossing movie until Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. It's also
like Ghostbusters is one of the staples.
It's also one of the most highest grossing comedies of all time.
Oh, comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, let me look it up.
I don't know if it is.
Oh, and I love the dickhead guy that comes in, the EPA guy. What's his name?
Oh, Walter Peck.
Walter Peck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, he
got
was
bullied.
very sour about this because he was in this and he was in Die Hard around the same time. And he would get harassed. Oh, this is this part where it almost turns into a musical.
Oh, yeah, because he was also that kind of guy. Yeah. Die Hard.
But yeah.
He's never been out of college. He's definitely that kind of professor.
I have a professor. Oh, this.
Oh, here. Wait. We got to say it. Fade. Call it karma. This part, his dialogue goes right with the music. Every time I watch this movie, every time, I've seen it like 25 times at least, I think it's going to be a musical for just a second because Bill Murray's line delivery.
And then they just drink more
and then they
whatever
just
that
drink
is
more.
they're drinking.
Whiskey or whatever that is.
I can't quite see the label.
But let me tell you something about my relationship with Ghostbusters. For a long ass time, I really wasn't that into it because it's a lot of dry humor, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got older and just more mature, it just clicked with me.
When I was a kid, like when I was really little, there were some scenes in it that freaked me out. To be totally honest.
The only part that freaked me out was when
like the ghost in the library freaked me out when I was a kid.
What's its
Gozer?
name? Gozer shows up.
But
David Bowie.
Yeah. But as I learned to not be afraid of it, I liked this movie a lot as a kid, but for different reasons. There's a few movies like that where I remember liking them as a kid, but I liked this as a kid because I thought
Do you count Minions: The Rise of Gru as a comedy?
Technically.
Apparently, it's the highest grossing comedy now.
Oh, wow. Huh.
According to this list.
Yeah, I have not watched that. Although I don't hate the Minions or Despicable Me movies. They're okay. I love this.
Oh, yeah, Egon's like talking about all the problems with it, the structure, you know. And then Dan Aykroyd.
When I was like a kid,
stance.
I liked
just like, this is great. I love it. As a fire pole.
No, when I was a kid, I liked this movie, but because I thought the ghost stuff was cool, not because I understood the humor. You know?
No, I always kind of liked it, but I never got the humor.
That's when one of my favorite movies of all time is The Princess Bride. And when I was a kid, I loved that movie, but just because it was a fantasy movie that I liked.
Yeah.
But then I didn't watch it for a long time, and I went back and watched it like a teenager and realized that it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So with the inflation calculator, so 30 million in 1984 would equal 85.7 million in 2022, and that's the budget.
Yeah.
So it made 295 million back in the 80s. So let's see how much that is now. Wait, that's not right. I didn't do enough zeros there. Rick Moranis. And Sigourney Weaver, a horror classic from Alien and Aliens.
Oh, yeah. I love...
And I must say...
hot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say it.
You'll proudly say it. I know that. But
my girlfriend has curly hair. That's not a coincidence that I'm into that. Sigourney Weaver I've always thought she was hot.
Right. So that would equal $842 million nowadays.
Oh.
So yeah, it's a big movie.
It's one
of Sony's big staples. But yeah, Rick Moranis, I love him. I love him in Spaceballs and everything.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
He's just the perfect loser, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He gets locked out of his own house. Like, come on. I love how this commercial is on YouTube in the new movie.
Yeah.
They look up the Ghostbusters. No, I think the new movie was really good, but what kind of bothered me, and I like that it did something different, but it wasn't in New York, baby.
Yeah, no,
that kind of bothered me. Ghostbusters is New York to me.
I think they're doing another Ghostbusters movie that's a continuation
with Ernie Hudson and everybody, right?
And that I think could be really good because it would be like.
I think if you introduce some of the younger cast, mix them with the older guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, everybody.
Yeah,
I think that would be good.
I think, and I love the post-credit scene with Afterlife is a good movie, but not for the same reasons that this is.
I think Afterlife is a good introduction to Ghostbusters for young generations.
Yeah. I mean, my little sister...
because they have the Stranger
is going to be
Things kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's going to be very angry for me saying this.
Oh, and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is the Rick Moranis of that movie.
I love
And
Paul
the little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow guys, I love that scene.
Me and my girlfriend have a little bobblehead of the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow, like one of the two of them roasting.
Well, they had like a 7-Eleven deal with those.
Oh yeah,
they had like a partnership.
But no, my little sister is a teenager and she's in love with Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
and she's gonna be angry for me saying that.
You mean mini Timothée Chalamet?
Yeah. But no, he's actually a really good actor, Finn Wolfhard.
No, he is.
Though. I think he's a talented guy. No, but I think I like.
Oh, there's the dogs.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was just a good movie. It wasn't necessarily because it's like.
But like that part right there,
everything Ghostbusters.
I love that this movie was just creative. They had fun with it.
Yeah,
the different dimension in her fridge. Like most paranormal movies don't mess with that kind of shit now. It's bland. It's
the Ecto one.
Ecto, yeah.
The Hearst.
Hearst, yeah.
Apparently Hearsts are relatively cheap.
Yeah, I saw this goth chick on TikTok that was talking about how the Hearst is really nice. You have all this storage. You can have a bed back there, chill out, you know.
I mean, that sounds awesome, except for the part where you have to be driving around in a Hearst all the time.
What, because there was maybe a dead person in it?
No, because it's weird, and also they're very long cars.
No, but if you're into that kind of thing,
yeah, if you're into
it's the perfect kind of thing.
If I were to get,
I love her. What's the actress?
I don't remember. If I were to buy a Hearst, though, I would definitely try to
make it an Ecto one
into the Ecto one, which would end up I would end up spending just as much money as I would on spending it on buying any other car. If the reason I'm buying a Hearst is because it's cheaper, it would not end up being cheaper.
Because you would make it into
because I'd spend the money making it into that.
Yeah, that's Annie Potts, and she reprises her role not only in the Ghostbusters video game, which I'm playing on the Switch, the remastered version, which has all the original cast members, and Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd wrote it.
Yeah,
the game.
The
not the new one. They have a new one that's a multiplayer.
The remastered one, which weirdly does not have the theme song in it.
Yeah, that is some kind of rights issue.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, you know when they had the sign up with Ghostbusters? Yeah. So, okay, there was a legal problem with this movie.
Yeah.
So
tell me about
there was the Ghostbusters show with like a ape and his buddy driving around car in the 70s.
It was the Ghost
But
Space.
the Ghost Space
Busters.
Busters. Well, they ran into legal issues because they wanted to use Ghostbusters, but they filmed every scene where they say the name, and they did Ghost Smashers or was it Ghost Breakers? Something
Ghost
like
Breakers.
that.
It was
Ghost Breakers
yeah.
or Ghostbusters. But then at a certain point in the movie,
Very early on.
they were like, "This is way too expensive.
Like half an hour into the movie.
We're
they-
just gonna
they
go with
stopped doing-
Ghostbusters and hope
Yeah.
we get the rights for
And
it."
they-
and luckily they got the rights for it.
Well, one of the
It
guys
wasn't a
that
big
like
problem.
worked on the Ghostbusters TV show that they were worried about was
Yeah.
also working on this as like.
And
a
then you have the
producer.
cartoon.
So he was able to. It cost them money, like half
So
a
you have the
million
new
dollars or something
the
like that.
Ghostbusters cartoon, which is the
Right.
70s show,
Right.
and then you have the real Ghostbusters, which is this.
Yeah.
And then Egon's blonde in that because they have to look different for the
there's a
action
comic
figures.
book where there's a crossover between these Ghostbusters and the all-female cast from
Yeah.
2016.
Oh, really?
But the sorry, my ringtone. Copyright free though.
There you go.
So there's a comic book where these guys cross over with the all-female cast. I don't know what to call that 2016 Ghostbusters. Other than like, I wish they had called it something else so it could be easier to
Is that a
say.
Budweiser?
other than-
Aykroyd? Where's your Crystal Head vodka? Oh yeah, he hasn't invented that yet. He hasn't gone too crazy yet.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a comic where they cross over with them, but the cartoon Ghostbusters also show up as another alternate version of Ghostbusters, implying that the cartoon show is an alternate reality of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's not
It's separate, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how Bill Murray's just happily like, I'll go to her apartment and check it out.
Yeah. He's horny.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, if Sigourney walked into my office and was like, "Hey, I need help," I'll be like, "I'll help."
Yep. I'd be like, yep.
Even old Sigourney Weaver, I'd help.
Yeah. She's aged very well.
Well, she's just a great actress.
She
Even though-
is, yeah.
Some of her alien movies got a little weird,
Yeah.
where she was like pregnant with a xenomorph or something like that at one point.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
No, apparently
I
she's
also
one
like-
of the few actors, period, that could actually give James Cameron shit. Siri, shut up. Siri's talking in the background.
you're
Maybe we're haunted.
I I love that they have these gadgets sometimes that they just don't explain.
No, but apparently James Cameron would tell Arnold Schwarzenegger what to do in his movies because Schwarzenegger suggested the line, "I will be back." Mm-hmm. And then James Cameron was like, "No, it's I'll be back." And I'm glad it was that. But
Yeah.
apparently Sigourney Weaver would not take James Cameron's shit.
I mean, I like that. I appreciate that. I heard that with Arnold. Arnold's fun in the Terminator because he was apparently he was talking with James Cameron and he was not even auditioning for the role.
Oh, wow.
He was talking with him and they were like having lunch and James Cameron was telling him about the Terminator and Arnold was just being like, okay, so whoever you hire to play the Terminator, you have to make sure that they can be a robot, like not just talk and move like a robot, but also like when they're reloading a gun, they don't look down because
Yeah.
they're a robot. They don't need to look down. To do it.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. And I guess that was enough for James Cameron to be like, well, do you want to do it?
Also, I feel like in the scene, also Bill Murray, by the way, yeah, he showed up at the last second. He barely followed the script.
I love it.
He was just kind of on set, just being himself, just being an ass, kind of. That has to be improv. But in this scene, though, I feel like he's not actually doing anything. Like that device, I feel like really doesn't do anything,
Probably not. Yeah,
and he's just there to flirt.
pretty much. I mean, he's technically doing. I mean, he sees an opportunity.
I love in the
where he's
one
like,
of the things I
I'm
love
here
about
to do the job. I can be
One of the
here,
things I love
technically
about-
be doing the job, but also be hitting on her.
yeah, one of the things I love about the sequel though, he's the talk show host, and
Oh, yeah.
even in that, he doesn't care. Like you,
Yeah,
he gives off this whole energy. I'm just here for the paycheck.
yeah. No, I love it. He's my role model.
Yeah. I love how he just played himself in Zombieland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. He's
Jeez,
toxic.
what a creep. He's a creep.
He's super toxic. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But I've got some more Ghostbusters trivia if anyone
I'll
wants to hear
solve
that.
your problem. I got this. I'll
Yeah.
prove myself to you. That's the most toxic shit. Someone's like, okay, I'll prove myself to you when you told them no. Oh, I love that Rick Moranis' character always locks himself out of his apartment.
Yeah, and Rick Moranis always like over explains everything. And he's like a lawyer in the next one somehow. And this one he's just like a tax guy, right? He's just a
I don't know. I don't know how much they explain it.
Okay, so here's some trivia as we assumed. Almost none of the scenes were filmed as scripted. Most had at least one ad-lib. Most of Bill Murray's lines are ad-libs. Like, he just didn't even care about the script.
That's great.
And apparently he, I don't know if it was for this one or the second one, but he agreed to do it if they could do this World War I movie. Razor's Edge, I think. Something like that.
I've not seen
Oh,
that.
and they get their first customer. Oh, I love how they arcade machines and everything. And yeah, I would love to work at a firehouse.
Yes.
Not as a fireman, but just to be at a firehouse.
Have a building for the business.
With a fire pole. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will say about Ghostbusters Afterlife, I love that it's a tribute to Harold Ramis, you know?
Yeah, it's all about
But
his,
it doesn't
his
push
legacy.
it too far. I think it does the right
Yeah.
amount.
But it's like about his legacy. Like,
Yeah.
it describes like he's the one who never gave up on the Ghostbusters
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, here's a great scene. This is where we first meet Slimer.
Yes.
And the Ghostbusters logo, so I got a little bit of trivia about that. And I love this is my favorite uniform.
Oh yeah.
It's slicker in the sequel, but
Yeah, the
this one's
the
just
dark
like
uniforms are
just
fine,
sweaty,
but-
schlubby guys, you know.
Yeah.
They're basically pest control guys, but for ghosts.
Well, that's exactly why I like these
Yeah.
uniforms. Is they're not when they do the slicker versions, they start to feel
It's
like
cool
more
and
like
everything, but
they're superheroes. Of
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind.
yeah.
But this is like no, they're pest controls.
And that's what our jacket's based off, the original.
yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys are pest controls, and they're yeah. You got your jacket there, and you got your last name on your jacket.
Yeah, there was a guy on eBay that did custom Ghostbuster. Well, he does other name badge, but he does custom Ghostbuster ones. And he even did it with the Velcro, so I could just put it in my jacket.
Nice.
And these jackets come from, you can only get them at Spirit Halloween.
Yep.
And they're nice. It's actually a
Yeah,
warm
and I'm
jacket.
rocking Spengler.
Nice.
One, but no, yeah.
I love how the guy
love
wants to wait, yeah.
this. They're just all weirded out by him. No, that's what I like about this movie in particular over the other ones is that, or one of the things I like is that
Oh, this is the first
they're
time they're
not
testing
like
the
they're not like these
proton.
Oh
pack.
yeah, right. Not nuclear.
And licensed nuclears. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll step away.
Yeah, I love how they really don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, like, this is the first time giving it a shot. They went all in on it, not like testing any of it beforehand. No, but no, this movie portrays them less like these like big heroes and more like you said, like pest.
They're
control.
trying to make a buck.
Yeah, which is I think what
They're
makes
down
it,
on their luck, you know, college professors broke, you know.
I have one
Oh, and they just
professor
zapped
who
the shit out of her car.
I have a professor who told me once that the reason why he became a professor was because he got his bachelor's degree and then decided that he didn't want to leave academia. He's
I
just
can
like,
see the why.
he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to go out in the job market and stuff. I'm just gonna stick
I'd
around.
rather just stay.
Keep doing this, I
Yeah.
guess. We could do more damage that way.
We'll do more damage that way. Yeah, I love that way. And yeah, I love how Bill Murray's just ad-libbing the whole time.
Yeah, it makes it even better.
Yeah, they're smoking cigarettes. They're not glamorous guys. That's what makes it work.
There's a scene where they're like walking through the firehouse with a ghost trap, and they're just both
Slimer.
like dirty, sweaty, smoking cigarettes, and they're like casually talking about the ghost trap.
Apparently, like a day or two before Slimer was supposed to be filmed, the producer was like, "Can you make him look like John Belushi?"
Oh,
And then he made the Slimer, and they were like, "That's perfect."
yeah, because apparently I've heard that because apparently the guy who was like, he was already so far into like making it that they asked him that, and he was like, I can't change it this close to the due date.
Yeah.
So he just didn't change it.
And then they were just like, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah, he just didn't change it and told them it was John Belushi. Which is, I don't know if that's funny or kind of insulting towards John Belushi. Just an old guy.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Bill Murray. He's just like meandering around.
Yeah, he's like just wandering.
That's where it gets slimed. So, do you know how exactly they did these? I know it was puppets.
Yeah, so what they did is I'm forgetting the guy's name. So there's a really famous guy if you ever watched.
Well, Ivan Reitman, he directed this, right?
Yeah, so there's a really famous special effects guy. He did like the Clash of the Titans and the special effects and those. He's like, it's this method of where you basically make puppets or claymation, and you can insert it into a movie, into like a live action sequence. And that's basically what they did. So they made these puppets and filmed them. Not obviously the puppets were not on set. They filmed the puppets in a different time, different place.
Yeah. So apparently on
Just
the set,
pretty basic compositing, honestly.
Yeah.
What makes it cool is that they were doing this on film. This is before digital, so compositing wasn't just all done.
So on set, Dan Aykroyd referred to the Slimer ghost as the ghost of John Belushi. Slimer's gluttonous eating was based on Belushi's cafeteria scene in National Lampoon's Animal House, 78.
Ah, nice. That's a great movie too, Animal House.
Oh, yeah. When Venkman mentions the time Spengler tried to drill a hole in his head, Spengler's response, "That would have worked if you haven't stopped me," was actually ad-libbed by Harold Ramis.
Nice.
Oh, and also Ray Parker. So when they were going to do the theme song, first they wanted Huey Lewis in the News.
Oh yeah, I've heard this. Yeah, but
there were scheduling conflicts or something.
Well, Huey Lewis in the News, they did not. They had done the theme song for a different movie. I don't remember which movie.
Back to the Future.
Was it? Yeah, right. It was
Power of Love.
And they didn't want to become typecast as
Movie
the theme song guys.
Yeah.
So they refused the role because of that.
And I'm glad they got Ray Parker Jr.
Oh yeah, because it's a classic.
I think Huey Lewis's version would have been lamer.
Oh yeah.
Because when I watch Back to the Future, I'm not like, "Oh yeah, Power to Love is such a classic." I'm like, no, it's kind of a cringy song actually.
Yeah.
But it fits the movie so well at the same
It
time.
like works in the movie, but outside the movie,
I love how they just destroy
like
the whole bar, everything.
But the Bustin' song just is like, I can listen to that normally and kind of just have a good time with it.
I love how Egon just keeps going. Oh yeah, the Helltoe guy.
I like how they get the guy to. I like how they get the guy to pay. Where
Don't they rip the tablecloth out? He's like, "I always wanted to do this."
Oh yeah.
Or did that happen already? Oh yeah, I think it's Venkman. That was just Bill Murray, right? Yeah.
He's like, we're destroying stuff anyway. Might as well.
I always wanted to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, this was the highest grossing comedy of all time until Home Alone 1990.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, this is the one problem with doing commentaries of movies we love, that we will sometimes just stop talking and because we're watching the movie.
Yeah, because it's a movie we like. But yeah, at the time of at least this trivia on IMDb, it was Columbia Pictures' highest grossing film of all time when adjusted for inflation. Columbia Pictures.
Oh right.
Oh, wow. Apparently, Michael Keaton was offered the role of Peter Venkman and Egon Spengler.
Michael Keaton.
Imagine Michael Keaton in this.
Huh.
I mean, it probably would have worked, but it would be a
been
very different movie, though.
That would have been crazy. I love this here where the
That's the first ghost. First ghost. I'm still finishing my drink.
they $4,000 and the guy's like, well, I won't pay it.
Yeah, 5,000. We can just put it back.
I love that. We can just put it right back where it came from.
Okay, so the proton packs are much heavier than they look. They look pretty heavy to me.
Yeah.
But some are heavier than others, according on what a scene demanded. Depending on what the scene demanded. According to Ivan Reitman, none of the actors enjoyed wearing the packs, but Harold Ramis complained the least.
Huh.
Reitman wouldn't say which actor complained the most. However, he did strongly imply it was Murray. Of course it would be.
Of course it was Murray. It's the person I would guess would complain the most.
And then we get the theme song again, Ray Parker Jr. I mean, it's one of the most classic Halloween songs, too. I mean,
yeah.
It's in my playlist. And
I hear it all the
everything.
time, just not when I'm watching the movies. People just play it all the time.
Oh, apparently Harold Ramis made a choice to never smile as Egon, although he does smile in the sequel.
Yeah. Huh.
And yeah, I was right. According to Ivan Reitman and Harold Ramis in the DVD commentary, Dan Aykroyd's original rough draft of the movie, the story was going to take place in the far future, and the teams of Ghostbusters would exist everywhere, like paramedics and firefighters.
Oh.
According to Reitman, such a film would cost at least $300 million in 1984 dollars.
Ouch.
Harold Ramis was brought on to rewrite the script,
Yeah.
and I'm glad he did.
I've heard apparently not only did Bill Murray not follow the script, apparently he didn't read it at all.
Oh, apparently
It was probably because he had worked with Harold Ramis on scripts before and just kind of was just like, yeah, I trust
Bill
you.
Murray with Harold Ramis on Stripes.
Yeah. Stripes is a good movie.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Oh, God. This is the scene where Dan Aykroyd's character gets a blowjob from a ghost. Yeah. It's not even implied. It basically happens.
Is it a dream or is it
No, I think it's
actually happening?
I think it's real. I mean, why wouldn't it be real? Apparently, there was a more extended version of that they deleted for good reasons, probably. Yeah. Ernie Hudson. Yeah, there's a steady paycheck. I'll believe in anything.
I can relate with that.
Yeah. So yeah, Bill Murray agreed to do this movie only if Columbia financed a remake of Razor's Edge, 1946, with him as the star. The remake was made and released the same year as this movie. Apparently, it flopped.
Oh no! I love it. They don't even like do a proper interview. He's like, they're like, "This is Winston. You're hired."
Yeah. They just need somebody. So, adjusted for inflation, this would be the 32nd highest grossing movie of all time.
Wow.
Still.
Yeah, that's impressive, including all the Marvel movies and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, this is a whole big of trivia. I'll save that one. Oh, a more ferocious version of the librarian puppet was going to be used, but it was rejected. Too scary. A year later, it was used in Fright Night, 1985.
Oh, nice. Reusing resources.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on a budget.
Very resourceful.
Yeah. She's a cellist, right?
I think so. Yes. And I think it's implied that he did not actually go and watch her play, because he compliments her there on, "Oh, you did very well in your show." Gozer was very big in Sumeria. Then what's he doing in my icebox? That's a good line. I feel like Bill Murray is probably just one of those actors in Hollywood where the not even reading the script and just showing up is just par with his how he works. So if you hire him for a movie, you just kind of got to expect that that's what you're getting.
Yeah. I hope he just gets to be Bill Murray in the new Ant-Man.
Oh, I hope so, yeah. I did watch, speaking of Marvel real quick, I did watch the trailer for the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love that Kevin Bacon's in it.
As Kevin Bacon, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I think that's pretty good. I wonder how big of a role he's going to have.
So Ray Parker Jr. had trouble writing the film's theme song. When he saw the Ghostbusters TV commercial in the film, he decided to write the song like an advertising jingle. The song was a #1 hit for 3 weeks.
Wow. Huh.
Yep.
It is a good song. We'll just gush on that song all night.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song. Here we go, Walter Peck.
I think I was listening to Weekly Planet and they were saying, like,
apparently this actor...
They were like, Walter Peck, ultimately, he was totally right, though. Like, their storage facility was probably going to fail at some point anyway.
Well, that's his job. He's the EPA agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Atherton, apparently, after this movie came out and it was a huge hit and everything, apparently, like, he went to a bar in New York, and or maybe it was in New York, but he went to a bar and people would call him Dick Face.
Oh, yeah. Dickless.
Yeah, Dicklets, yeah.
Yeah.
And they would like get in arguments and fights with him because they were like, "You were trying to come down on the Ghostbusters."
Yeah, apparently it's part of the reason why he didn't come back for the sequel.
Yeah, they got a different guy to fill that role.
He's like since become cool about it, but like,
well, because he played the character so well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned the drug. So many contemporary viewers have taken issue of Venkman's line that he gave danithorazine, that's the drug, has been used in cases of date rape. In the 1980s, the drug had a reputation as a safe and effective way of bringing people down from bad trips.
Yeah, it wasn't a date rape drug then, but
it was like also an ADD drug.
Yeah,
back then. please. No. But yeah. So yeah, Huey Lewis and the News turned down an offer to write and record a theme song to Ghostbusters. They later sued Ray Parker Jr. for plagiarism, citing the similarities between his theme song and an earlier hit, I Want a New Drug. While protecting intellectual property is a cause dear to musicians, the dissimilarities between the two songs, different chord sequences, different refrains, different bridge, were greater than in other similar cases, and the general feeling among musicians was that the judgment was unjust. So Huey Lewis and the News basically was just like, damn it, we should have wrote the song for that movie because it was a huge hit, so now we're going to sue him and say he stole from one of our songs, even though it didn't even sound like it.
Yeah.
So that's not good. That makes
Come on,
me...
Huey. I've never particularly liked Huey Lewis in the News.
I mean, I never really known too much about him, but yeah, I never really...
They're okay. They're pretty generic.
Yeah, at the end of Afterlife, it's like about to blow again. What about the Twinkie? And yeah, I love the shots of that apartment with the lightning and everything.
I think it's cool how they basically inserted a whole fictional building into New York skyline.
Right?
Like, I think, and it works.
Yeah.
Like, at no point.
Yeah, they later explain,
unless you're like from New York and familiar with the skyline,
you
like,
wouldn't know.
You know,
and they later explained that this building was built by a guy that used. It was like electroconductive metal.
Yeah, it was the guy that was,
and he mined it in Oklahoma.
Cult of.
Hello, here comes the keymaster and gatekeeper or whatever.
Yeah. Zool,
yeah.
And
the other one.
The other one has a stupid name.
Rick Moranis' one.
Like it actually has like a stupid name. It's
also, I love that he's having this party. He doesn't seem like the guy, but they're all nerds when you go in there when it shows.
Oh yeah. But he's still the nerdiest one.
Bill Burr, like a year ago when he was on SNL, was talking in his monologue. Yeah, he was talking about how gentrified New York has become, and how there's Starbucks and Bed Bath and Beyond everywhere, and it feels like it just doesn't feel like the same New York. But then he was like, "But did you hear that Rick Moranis got sucker punched on the subway?"
Yeah,
he was like, he took one for the team. He's like, the universe has to
is the eagle.
balance.
Yeah. I love that. I did hear that. Yeah. Let's see. So Zool is the gatekeeper, the dog that
the gatekeeper
turns into, and the key master. I'm trying to remember find the name of him. Because it's a stupid name.
Yeah, it's a really nice apartment.
Oh yeah, that's a really Oh yeah. Vince Clortho is the name of the keymaster. Yeah.
So yeah, generally thought as one of the quintessential New York City movies, only 3 weeks were spent filming in New York on location. Yeah, that's usually how it goes, though.
Yeah, that sounds standard.
You'll film it in a studio on set in L.A. and nowadays Georgia. That's the big place now.
Yeah, Georgia's becoming big
because they have huge sounds like warehouse-sized sound stages.
Yeah, it's a big place to film.
That's where
stuff
a lot
still
of
gets filmed in Hollywood, but Hollywood is so. That whole area is so overdeveloped that there's not a lot of.
So this is the keymaster.
There's not a lot of room.
Or no, the gatekeeper, Zool.
Yeah, this is the gatekeeper, Zool. Yeah, but there's not as much kind of room in Hollywood to build new infrastructure, and also filming outdoors and things like that is harder because it's so developed there. Not that Georgia is undeveloped. like a third world country.
No, but I just
but there's more
everything I
space
heard,
there to build.
more space, and
Yeah.
Georgia's just the big place for big blockbusters.
Yeah.
Just a lot of movies.
I would go to one of his parties. Looks like a good party.
Yeah, they got good
It's a
snacks
bunch-
and everything.
Bunch of nerds, but
I love how he explains
if
everything.
he invited me to a party, I'd be like, I guess I'll show up for half an hour and eat some free food.
If Rick Moranis invited me to a party,
if Rick Moranis, yeah.
and he paid for her, or what is this situation?
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a party of nerds and accountants and tax filers.
It's like his clients and stuff.
I love how he just keeps talking. He always explains everything. Oh, and there's the Keymaster.
Vince Chlorophyll.
Yeah. Okay, so these effects here.
They're a little janky.
It's janky.
but they're not. The movie's
But the
shot.
actual prop right here looks good.
the prop
That's
looks
convincing.
great,
but
and
then when it's rotoscoped,
it's
there,
also it's-
that's where it looks
the
janky.
rotoscoping is poor.
But at the same time, for the time, and also
For the time,
it
it's
doesn't
good.
bother me. I don't know.
No, it's just the whole movie's filmed in a way where it's like
It
the
fits-
effects don't bother. Even the bad effects don't bother you. Like,
Yeah.
they're just. It's fine.
Well, it just fits the tone and the weirdness
Yeah,
of this movie. Oops.
and they're pretty good about not overusing those janky effects. They cut to close-ups of the puppet and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and that
You want a
convinces
Guinness
you
here?
more. Yeah, I'll take a Guinness. I was gonna take another shot, but a Guinness is good.
I have a Guinness. I mean,
And yeah, I've been up since 6 this morning and worked all day.
Oh, yikes!
So
Yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend for me. A lot of working, but I do have Sunday night off though, because
night before Halloween.
Yeah, we're going out for quite a few people are coming. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that's on Sunday? I thought that was on the 28th.
No, it's on Sunday,
It's on Sunday?
the 30th. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I love how they just see this man get mauled by this demon
just
dog
don't
and they
give a
just keep
shit.
eating. They
They
care.
don't see the demon dog.
True, they just see Rick
Yeah.
Moranis freaking out. And if
I don't know why they don't see the demon dog. I guess because it's like has to possess him.
yeah.
In physical form, so he's only seeing it because it's trying to possess him.
Apparently only one car was used for Ecto 1. No film would only have one car of this old and beaten up to shoot up
that's
with.
insane.
The car used for Ecto 1 finally broke down during the filming of Ghostbusters 2.
Whoa, that's crazy. You would expect them to have at least a backup, one backup.
2 or 3, yeah, right?
Yeah, at least.
One like stunt car, one prop car where it doesn't work, but it's just for.
Well, for a movie like this, they probably wouldn't need stunt cars.
But you would have the prop
because
one.
there's no scenes in this movie where the Ecto 1 is being used in a crazy way.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't need like hero car. And
So
prop
maybe just
car.
like the
but you would at
camera
least,
shot one,
Well,
and then the working one.
I think what it would probably be is you would just have to have a backup in case the first one breaks.
Yeah.
That's
So the
that's
Ecto
it.
1 was a
Yeah.
1959 Cadillac chassis, Miller Meteor ambulance/hearse rear loading variety. 2 vehicles were used in the movie, one for pre-transformation car and one for the post-transformation version. But that contradicts. Unless they mean the finished one was the only one the only finished one.
I don't know.
And apparently it was originally going to be black,
I'm glad they did not go with that.
but it didn't look good in night scenes.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and this is the scene I'm talking about. He's been horny for her the whole time, right? And now she wants to have sex with him, but she's obviously possessed, and not in control. And he doesn't. He doesn't take advantage of that.
No. He immediately notices something's up.
Yeah, well,
And like tries
and he
to
could
be-
have.
Yeah.
And so that shows that his character does have some redeeming qualities.
Oh yeah, he's not a total sleaze.
He's a ladies' man
He's
and
just
everything.
a little bit of a sleaze
but
bag.
he won't. He won't go that far. He still has his morals.
I can't help but notice that he has this nice jacket on, but he has a very colorful shirt on, like on underneath it. And I like it.
It's a good combination. Yeah, they have the Zool outfit. I've seen it at Spirit Halloween. The outfit she's wearing.
It's for
I love how in Afterlife, how the mom just rips off her normal clothes and that's just on her.
Oh yeah.
So it's assumed that you get that outfit when you.
Yeah. No,
What a lovely singing voice. I love this bit.
starts floating off the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do in that situation?
I would probably do what he does. Slowly exit.
Yep. Be like, I am going to leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was talking about I forgot to mention it. So with the Ghostbusters, the no ghost logo, the classic logo, apparently the creator Casper had some problems with it and thought it looked too much like Casper. And then the courts basically ruled there's only so many ways you can draw a ghost.
Yeah.
And it also looks different. It doesn't look like Casper. It just
doesn't
looks
look
like
like
a
Casper.
ghost.
Yeah, I don't think it looks like Casper has a much bigger head to
And
body
soft
ratio.
cute.
And Casper
And
doesn't
he's a
have
dead child.
Yeah, Casper doesn't have a pointy head either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's a white humanoid does not mean
But
it's-
when you have a successful movie,
Yeah.
people are gonna get on you, try to get some money out of it.
I like this. Rick Moranis just going around to random people
Are you
and animals. If the horse had said yes,
right?
would he have fucked a horse?
I love how he still acts like Rick Moranis, even though he's possessed.
Oh yeah,
It's still obviously.
I feel like it implies that Vince Clorthal, the gate or the keymaster, is just like that too.
Well, because when he possesses Paul Rudd, he also acts like that.
Yeah.
Like Rick Moranis. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so John Candy was originally going to be in the role that Rick Moranis has. And he was going to play it with like a German accent.
Interesting.
Kind of glad he didn't.
Yeah, I like John Candy,
yeah.
but Rick Moranis is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for this role. So yeah, John Candy turned down the role of Louis Tully because his ideas for the character were rejected. According to Ivan Reitman in the commentary, Candy suggested he wanted the character to have a German accent and have a pair of schnauzer dogs. No one felt the German accent was appropriate for the character, and since there was dog imagery in the movie, the terror dogs, they felt having Tully own dogs was too much. Rick Moranis was then cast as Louis. Candy and Moranis are both veterans of SCTV 1976, along with Harold Ramis. Candy did, however, work with each main Ghostbuster, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis in Stripes, 1981. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd in The Great Outdoors, 88, and The Blues Brothers, 1980.
Blues Brothers is a classic.
Yeah.
love
I
that
can't believe you didn't know that was Dan Aykroyd.
I knew that. I really spaced out on it. I don't know. He's skinnier in that
Well,
movie.
yeah, he looks different. Yeah, people change.
For some reason, I spaced out on that. But I do love that movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
There's a little romantic thing going on there between Spengler and what's her
Well,
name?
it's assumed they did. Yeah, they did end up having romance, even though in the sequel, she gets with Rick Moranis' character.
Right, yeah. $300 cc's of Glorazine.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
All right. Restroom break.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, if you didn't know, this is one of our favorite movies, and I love Harold Ramis right here in this scene. You can tell he's just having fun. Bill Murray's just having fun too. Oh, there's Acto 1, classic. I never met him. Revelation 7:12, that's what comes back in Afterlife. That's what Egon's talking about on his farm.
Okay, I'm back. Where are we? Sorry about that.
It's all good. I'm looking up some facts.
I
New
love
York,
these
baby.
shots of them driving across the bridge and stuff.
Yeah, those are good shots.
That's what Ghostbusters Afterlife did. Is they ended with a shot
And
of them
driving across
the
Brooklyn Bridge or whatever bridge that is.
Yeah, I
We
don't.
saw two towers.
I don't know enough about New York to recognize the bridges. Oh, here comes Dickless. I mean, ultimately, yeah, he is right. As the EPA, it is his
No, but this
job.
is the 80s where everyone hated bureaucrats.
Yeah. Well, everyone still hates bureaucrats.
But even more.
I
in the
work
80s.
for bureaucrats. I hate bureaucrats. But you're right. That was like an insult word to call someone a bureaucrat. But no, ultimately, I think he is right that there's a safety issue there. Where he was wrong is to shut it off without like listening to them.
Yeah, listening to the actual scientists on how to shut it off or what they need to do.
He should have
No,
subpoenaed
he just
them
gets
or
his
something
intern,
like that. And
his intern or whatever to shut it off.
not even an intern, just a maintenance worker.
Yeah.
He works for the. Yeah. This is like a city of New York maintenance worker. This is the type of shit they would have if there was Ghostbusters in Durango. And they.
Well, I've always
and
talked about we need to Ghostbust some places.
We do need to Ghostbust some
I
places.
have equipment.
Yeah, we got the jackets. We got everything.
Yeah, I mean that's all you need, really. And you need the attitude.
No, if there was Ghostbusters in Durango and the city decided to shut off their system, they would probably grab someone like me, maintenance worker, to go shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's just
Yeah,
like, I
he's-
don't know.
He's like, I don't know what's going on. You just dragged me here. I'm
Yeah.
way in over my head. Yeah, the cop getting at the bureaucrat's neck.
Of course, yeah. It's in New York, baby.
I love it.
I accidentally ended up on the Northeast Ohio Ghostbusters group. Because there actually is Ghostbuster groups. The Ghost Corps.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like this whole like Ghostbusters union.
Yeah. I would legitimately actually probably enjoy doing stuff like going into haunted places and stuff.
No, I
like
would,
that.
yeah.
I don't believe in
Night vision, everything.
I don't believe in ghost stuff like enough. I'm enough of a skeptic where I'm like, I wouldn't be one of those guys where I would take every weird noise as like evidence.
It's a ghost.
You know, because generally a skeptic. But
I
it'd
would
still
be
it'd
I
still
would be one of those
fun.
guys that's just in there for fun.
Yeah, it'd be a fun activity.
And
you know,
to
just to
kind of ramsack a hotel.
yeah.
What do you think of this sequence?
I like it.
So this when all the ghosts are released.
I mean, this part right here where it all explodes is pretty well done. But I like the part where it shows all the ghosts around the city.
Just running amok
Yeah.
in New York.
And this is like bringing in like what you said earlier, where it's like they don't explain all this. Some of the ghosts are like ghosts. Some of them are like zombies. It's like really vague on how that works.
Well, I think, see, a
but
lot
they
of
don't
times,
explain it. They don't have
what a lot
to.
of movies do wrong is when they over-explain things, and that makes it even dumber.
Yeah, it comes down to how smart do you think your audience is, and I think so many movies, especially nowadays,
Assume
err
the
on
audience
the side
are
of
idiots.
assuming that assuming everyone are idiots. And yeah, you know, some people are idiots, but I think it's better. You're going to have a better movie. You know, it's better to have a good movie that doesn't over-explain stuff, but a few people don't get it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
You know? But this isn't even there. There's nothing about this movie that is confusing to even the dumbest person.
It's ghosts. It's supernatural
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
Like this is not an example of choosing not to explain stuff for the sake of the plot. This is an example of it just doesn't really need to be explained. It's ghosts,
yeah.
and that's all there is to it. Like that, the ghost goes in the taxi cab there, and then it's a zombie,
Yeah.
which is a cool puppet. That's a cool puppet.
No, it's a lot of cool puppets in this.
But yeah, it doesn't have to explain anything, which works. That's what I think one of the cool things about the Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies, is they do not explain everything.
No, they kind of assume that you know enough about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We're not going to do everything
They
that's in
don't-
the book, but we're going to hit the main points.
They don't
and
treat
just
their
watch
idiot.
it and
They don't treat their the
And if they
viewers
do
like
it,
idiots.
explain anything, it's when Gandalf is explaining
Yeah.
something. When he's
I mean, the books are, and the books kind of do that too. They don't. I mean, they explain more in the books.
Tolkien explains a lot.
Tolkien goes into a
Colton.
lot of exposition, but there is still some stuff that it doesn't really explain. That
Tom
Tolkien, that
Bombadil,
Tolkien
for
says
instance.
that Tolkien. Well, there's stuff like one example is Aragorn. Why does he become king? It's not just because of his namesake or anything like that. It's because the people chose him as king because of his deeds.
Yeah.
And that's an event that happens in the books. And Tolkien trusts the reader to see that event happening and understand what the fuck is going on. instead of describing the event and then stopping and explaining it.
The classic sound. So for the Ectomobile, sound designer Richard Beggs made the Ectomobile siren sound from a leopard snarl that was edited, pitched, and otherwise processed in analog. Use an Ampex AG440 recorder, quarter-inch tape, VSO, so variable speed operation, a razor blade, and ETEL splicing block.
That's cool. That's super cool. I love Foley artists, how they come up with sounds and stuff.
Well, I always love the fact about Godzilla's roar, how it's like a violin or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a cello or violin strum, play backwards, slow down, you know.
Yeah. No,
Because
Foley...
back then you couldn't just find royalty-free sounds online. No,
Yeah.
you had to make the sounds.
They still
They still do that, but I'm just saying, it's definitely not easy.
Watch most big blockbusters now still have Foley artists who make the sounds.
Yeah.
And it's crazy the extent, like, you're watching a movie, they have artists who will go as far as, like, making sounds for footsteps. Like, everything, every sound in the movie.
Well, and a lot of times, like, in gory scenes and stuff, the, like, sounds of someone's head getting crushed or whatever, it's like a watermelon.
Yeah, well,
fruit.
yeah, it's like what's crazy is so many. It's actually really common that movies the sound that they will film. Maybe they keep the audio of the actors talking, and that's it. Everything else is artificially produced by Foley artists. Everything.
So this scene with the Ghostbusters in jail was filmed at an actual abandoned jail. Aykroyd, ever the supernatural nut, claimed the jail was haunted. Medjuk remembers the film getting scratched during filming, the only evidence that something was really going on.
That's cool. I've always wondered about that scene where it's like it's a jail and they have cells, but everyone's kind of just sitting around in the center of the room listening to the Ghostbusters, and I'm like, why are the cops letting them all do this?
Right.
Like,
oh, I love this shot. Her in the apartment.
I love this is back. This is back in the day when they used to use matte paintings more often.
And they look good. I mean, they're
matte paintings.
Well, they have a fun look to them. I don't know.
They don't necessarily always look real, although sometimes they can.
I don't think they have to look real, right? I think.
Well, so with matte paintings,
has a certain
a really interesting thing about matte paintings is
color tone.
Painting photorealism is not a good look for matte painting. It doesn't work.
No, you have to make it look good with perspective and with focus.
So the further away something is, the blurrier you have to make it look. You have to make it look like it would look on camera.
Video game developers do that.
Yeah, and the techniques still exist in digital stuff, but we don't use actual matte paintings. This is my dream is I want to own a matte painting from an actual movie someday.
That'd be sick.
I just really
background.
Yeah, I want one of those. That you can buy them every once in a while. They come up on auction and stuff. Mm-hmm. I just can't afford them because it's expensive.
Oh, I love this bit with the mirror.
I like the mirror's like.
I love how they dog so hard on Walter Peck here.
They're like, you are the fucker that shut down the system in the first place.
Yeah, and caused this whole fucking... Even though it was going to probably happen anyways, right?
It probably was going to happen,
because even in Afterlife, it shows the containment unit, like, blinking red.
Yeah.
And that's not for 40 years. Yeah. So... This man has no dick.
It's true.
That's what I heard. They get a bishop?
Yeah, I think it's Catholic of some kind. I don't know enough about to be able to recognize what rank of bishop I think that that guy would
Archbishop. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I love him.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson. He's the working man.
I think he's the underrated.
He's the one they trust even more because he's not one. Because in this era, especially, and even now, this whole distrust towards professors, towards bureaucrats, especially psychologists, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
the 80s.
I think Weekly Planet. Their episode on this, they mentioned that the way they talk about Venkman's degrees as psychology and parapsychology is like the way they talk about it in the movies are almost like as if that's a joke.
Yeah.
Which is kind of in line with how people thought about psychology back then. Reality psychology is actually like a legitimate respected degree nowadays.
No, yeah.
Like,
a very important degree.
my girlfriend's minor was in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's a good thing to study.
Roshi, your major was in psychology, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's a good major
It's
to
a
have.
very good major to have.
Yeah. My girlfriend's even said like
I mean, now
she did her major in sociology with a minor in psychology. She thinks actually looking back she should have done the opposite. Which makes sense. Although sociology, even though some people like to joke about it, philosophy majors and history majors like to joke about sociology not being a real degree. In reality, it's actually a pretty marketable degree.
yeah, but it's associated. It's the degree a lot of athletes take
It's associated with being.
just to get through college.
It's a general degree.
Yeah.
That's why people make fun of it. Is they go,
Sociology,
oh, like
yeah.
what do you study in sociology? Oh, we study history and psychology and all these other things. Well, why not study just history or just psychology? Or
yeah, it's broad strokes, but
it's if you were to describe liberal arts in one degree, it'd be sociology.
Yeah.
But also the
well,
reality.
it's a basis for so many degrees.
Yeah, but the reality is people who get like degrees in sociology do specialize. Mm-hmm. So like my girlfriend specialized
Once after
in
they
like
get the degree
youth
and then-
youth development is something she has a lot of experience with because of that. And it's also a very marketable degree. It looks good on your
When
resume.
Roshi got her master's in social work,
Yeah.
so very good. So yeah, this scene where they're like chanting for the Ghostbusters, they filmed it a couple different times with Ghost Breakers
Oh yeah.
and Ghostbusters.
Huh.
And then even like the extras liked Ghostbusters more. So
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, let's just stick with Ghostbusters, hope it works out. And it worked out.
Yeah.
Imagine a universe where it's Ghost Breakers or Ghost Smashers.
Ghost smashers, they're smashing ghosts. It would fit it. Bill Murray's super horny.
But yeah, I love
wants to
how
smash.
they're just here with the National Guard and everything. And then they realize how tall this building is and they have to climb to the top.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, most of these effects just really fit. It's a pretty timeless movie, even though it's obviously in the 80s. It never feels
The only effect in the entire movie that feels
dogs.
is the dogs. And specifically the one scene where they're chasing Lewis.
well, because rotoscoping a floating ghost that's not really in the physical world is a lot easier.
little
But
bit
then
easier, yeah.
doing a dog that's galloping and smashing through walls,
Yeah.
there's a lot
And
more to that.
rotoscoping where the way they did it then was like they don't have computers
Yeah,
to rotoscope.
it was
It's-
manual, analog.
It's
They actually put the images over the film.
yeah, it's
Put film over film. No, and even like with music and everything, the whole idea that they literally like, you know how when make music and stuff nowadays, edit it on digitally, whether it's through Audacity, Basic, or like GarageBand or whatever. Yeah, you're cutting and pasting things. But back in the day, you literally cut the tape
yeah.
and then taped it to another tape.
Yeah, 8 tracks were a big
yeah.
deal when they came out. Because you could like
Do that, yeah.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, Bill Murray's hyping everyone up, and then Dan Aykroyd's just like, this is actually.
He's like, this might
He's
be
really nervous.
But Bill Murray hypes them up too.
Yeah.
He's the hype man. I love the proton packs. I would love to if I had the
Well, in
if I
Afterlife,
had the
Ernie
money
Hudson,
to
he
invest.
basically says, yeah, Stance is the idea man. Egon's the...
Oh, that's a matte painting. There.
Yeah, that's a map paint, and it's convincing.
It's good. Yeah,
And
works.
well, and like all the shots in Star Wars, like of the Death Star and stuff, matte paintings.
yeah. No, matte paintings can be really, really good.
Yeah, that's a really good example of perspective, actually.
Oh yeah.
So they did each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's the
His
gatekeeper.
his
He's
belt's
the key
undone
man.
there. Yeah.
And he's happy.
He's like, yes.
Like Rick Moranis is definitely in the subconscious. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's just. He's like, that just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how they're just trudging through these stairs.
Well, they're just like real guys.
And they're like 35, or I always thought they were 55.
They're like in their 30s.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if I had the money to like actually collect like really good props and stuff, I would want to build like a screen accurate Proton pack for my collection. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I thought about getting like the deluxe one they have at Spirit Halloween, but it's like $100.
$100
And I'm like,
and
I'm gonna wear it once
yeah,
or twice, and
for $100.
and whenever I go like on the zombie crawl, we have a thing for
Yeah.
Halloween called zombie crawl. A lot of cities have it though, but when I sit down, I have to deal with the
I might go
proton
this
pack.
year, maybe.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'm
I mean,
working on
I
Halloween
always-
night, but only until 9:30.
There you go. Get
So,
off work and then
Yeah,
come downtown.
And of course, I'm gonna wear my Ghostbusters
Oh yeah, you
gear
have
to
to
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna wear mine too. And yeah, here's one of my favorite scenes.
I love this. No, I mean, if you were to say, I need a proton pack for a costume, like I have to have it, and my budget is $100, you would say, okay, you can go Spirit Halloween and buy one. Or it's a lot more work. I could make you a way better looking one, probably,
But for how much?
for a quarter of the price.
I feel like it would end up costing more if you made one. Though, from scratch.
Well, you can use things like cardboard and foam. I'm not saying making
it would cost you more in time.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, in time, yeah, it would.
Because time is money.
It would take a lot more work, but you'd have a better.
Oh yeah, and it's
thing.
just this movie. It's just weird. Like they get possessed and then they transform back to dogs, and
Yeah.
it's just it shouldn't have worked, right?
Yeah,
And it did, obviously.
but it did. It did.
Yeah, it did work, and I'm glad it worked. But like, this is a level like Star Wars. I think that was easier to understand than this.
Oh yeah, Star Wars is
Or to
not
get
a-
behind.
Yeah, Star Wars is not hard to get behind.
This has weird dimensions and gods and yeah. Here's one of my favorite parts. And this isn't Zool. This is
This is Gozer.
Gozer. Yeah.
Zool is the gatekeeper. the
Yeah, and
dog.
Gozer ended up being based off kind of like David Bowie, like
They were gonna get Pee Wee Herman,
yeah.
and I'm glad they didn't.
That would have dated it.
Yeah.
And also just made it weird, even weirder. I love Olivia Wilde's portrayal of Zool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not Gozer.
Gozer. Yeah.
And the afterlife.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It stays true to the original design, just a little updated, but it's good.
I like how Bill Murray's just like, you got this, man.
Yeah, they
Go
just
for it.
send Dan Aykroyd up.
City, county, and state of
State of New York. That ought to do it. A god.
I've always loved
Bill
this
Murray's
one.
like, yeah,
He's like, you got this.
no. die.
Yeah. and then Winston's like, if someone asks you if you're a god,
Yeah. Yeah.
you say yes.
You say yes. Yeah. We're almost to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man scene.
Yeah.
And they filmed that scene a lot like you would film a kaiju movie with the miniature set, guy in a suit.
That's probably my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I love that.
This chick is toes.
Oh, this shot right here is great. The music also really works.
Yeah, the music, works well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're facing otherworldly beings beyond our comprehension, but this is our job.
Yep. We got this.
Yeah.
We're Ghostbusters. We bust ghosts, and this thing technically classifies as a ghost.
I love when Bill Murray, when they show up in the new one, he's like, "We had a good thing going, but it's time you go back," or something like that. He does his Bill Murray thing.
Oh yeah.
And for the flat top,
he talks to Gozer like he's like they're an old ex.
yeah. And Gozer's just gone.
What would happen if you shot a person with one of those?
Probably
I mean,
cut them in half.
They
Or incinerate 'em.
definitely die, but I'm wondering like the specifics.
Well, it like cut shit in half.
Yeah.
Oh, they think it's fine now? I forgot about this.
I love that. It's Miller time. And then this looks bad.
Yeah. And yeah, I love the set design here.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
I love Harold Ramis's physical acting here.
Just like gyrating. Or,
gyrating, quivering, shaking. And of course, all the New Yorkers are sitting there watching. So, choose the form of the destructor. And they're... Empty your heads. Don't think of anything. And Dan Aykroyd stance.
Immediately thinks
Already.
of something. Yeah.
The choice has been made. Everyone looks at Ray. It just popped in my head. I couldn't help it. Yeah. Okay, so I have some trivia. So the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man scene is the final film is exactly as written by Dan Aykroyd's original treatment. Ivan Reitman was threatened at step audiences had to take in how believable the creature was. This was his biggest concern at the first screening in Columbia Studios. At the time, they only had one shot of the Marshmallow Man, the one between the building and of the monster's head. It was enough to make the audience go crazy with laughter. While filming the final scene, the ending wasn't completely worked out. Reitman recollects the crossing streams idea had come up elsewhere in the screenplay prior to this, but using that to kill the Marshmallow Man came through working out the scene on set. So let's talk about the marshmallow, says Reitman, before explaining it was actually shaving cream. Huge laundry bags full of it were dropped on the people on set. Before the big drop on William Atherton, the actor asked Reitman if it was going to hurt. Reitman simply said he didn't know. Evidently, menthol shaving cream was used, resulting in at least one case of someone having an allergic reaction to it. Reitman states that the people had more of a problem with the limited amount of marshmallow on Bill Murray than they had with the fact that the Ghostbusters survived or the Marshmallow Man in the first place. Of course, the idea of Venkman being covered much less than the other Ghostbusters was Murray's idea.
Yeah.
On the opposite end, Aykroyd loved the shaving cream and kept asking it for more to be applied on him. And also, apparently, they dropped like 75 pounds of shaving cream.
Well, with Richard, what's his name? Yeah, he Peck. So that was the initial thing, was to drop like 75 pounds of shaving cream on him. But apparently they tested it on a stunt actor and it just flattened the guy.
Yeah, just completely flattened.
So they like halved it or something like that. So they did,
because it's still 75 pounds.
Yeah, that's like
yeah.
I love that. We get the sailor in New York.
But yeah, I love the Marshmallow Man here. And I always was under the assumption that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a real product.
Yeah, I kind of when I was a kid, I thought that.
But they created it for this movie.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's like a blend between the
like the Michelin tire
guy and
Mr.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
But then it became a product. Like you can actually get the Stay Puft Marshmallows, I think.
Huh.
Because of Ghostbusters. Kind of like how like with Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump, like it's a real restaurant now.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
You can buy their products in the grocery store and stuff.
Yeah. I always like getting their bread bowls.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure I've actually ever tried any of their products.
Oh, it's good. So they cross the streams and this could destroy like the universe or whatever.
Yep.
And they just go for it.
Very irresponsible.
And still, the proton pack, the streams, still, like, it just fits the vibe of the movie. Like, you know what I mean?
I like
and
it.
I love how they updated it in Afterlife. Like, it still stays true to effect, but it just...
I love this shot of the Marshmallow Man melting.
Oh, and big explosion.
Explosion like that. How the fuck did they survive?
Right.
They shouldn't have.
Well, I would assume the marshmallow actually protected them.
Maybe
from the flames. If they got impacted by the marshmallow
or they were just
first.
so close to the explosion that for some reason.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing like if you're at the center of a nuclear blast, you'll be fine, kind of thing. Well, the radiation will get you, but
yeah.
The explosion itself won't get you.
Yeah.
Or like if you're in the eye of a hurricane, you're fine.
Yeah, that's my idea.
But yeah, all
They're in
that
the
shaving
eye
cream.
of it, so.
And yeah, I love that Bill Murray barely has any on him.
Just got lucky.
And yeah, now that I look at it, it does look like shaving cream.
Oh yeah.
Me and my friends used to play around with shaving cream. I don't know why, but we would spray each other with shaving cream.
Huh.
Like boatloads of it. Not that much, but
shaving cream is fun.
Yeah, and it's used, for shaving.
Yeah, that's mostly what I use.
Also
it for.
used for fun party tricks, and used for movies such as Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bill Murray barely has any.
Yeah, I only ever really noticed that a few viewings ago. I was like, what, why does he?
He's the only one. He has some on his head, and that's about it, and his shoulder. And yeah, I love how they bust out of the statues here.
Oh yeah, this is
the dogs.
Imagine if they had not been there. They had walked away before she started breaking out there. Would she have just not been able to get out and starved to death in there?
Well, it's good they waited.
Yeah.
So when filming the third act scene outside Dana's apartment building, production halted traffic on 65th and Central Park West, major through streets and connecting streets in New York City. This resulted in traffic being backed up to Times Square and all the way to the river. At one point, the production was told they had to shut down about 60% of the traffic in Manhattan. Ramis recalls taking a break with Aunt Aykroyd one day while shooting on Central Park West, and Aykroyd noticed Isaac Asimov, who lived in the area at the time. Aykroyd, a fan of Asimov's, was excited and called out to the science fiction writer. Asimov asked, "Are you the ones responsible for this?" Meaning the traffic. Aykroyd said yes, and Asimov responded, "It's disgusting," before walking away. Also, whenever someone in the area would ask Medjuk what was going on with stopping all traffic, he would respond it was due to Francis Ford Coppola filming The Cotton Club. So they blamed it on Francis Ford Coppola.
That's good.
I saw this thing recently, this article, like how the Coppola's like whole film industry is nepotism, but they all happen to be talented anyways.
Yeah.
And we learned Nick Cage is a Coppola. He's in the Coppola family.
He is, yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think Francis Ford Coppola's his uncle or something.
Yeah.
And there we go, the theme again. And I love when a movie properly uses the theme song multiple times, like at key moments. And I think another good movie, even though it's not written for the movie, but with Thor Ragnarok with the immigrant song.
Yeah.
I think there's some cases where you can repeat the same song and it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Especially
sometimes
this.
weird when it's like I'm looking at a soundtrack or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, this is the theme song," and I'm like, I don't recall hearing this more than once. I would not.
Yeah, it kind of has
that
to
this
be
was a
played
theme
more than
song.
once if it's
Yeah.
a theme song. It's like you wouldn't play the Batman theme song once.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you play the key moment in the plot. Yeah, rest in peace, Harold Ramis. And yeah, Rick Moranis. And, you know, I like Ghostbusters 2 more than I remembered, but this is the best one.
Yeah,
It's
Ghostbusters
still
2 is okay,
out
but,
of every...
I like this one.
And I'm surprised that this movie didn't get overblown with sequels.
Yeah,
We've only had, 5 or 6 movies?
4.
4 if you count.
If you can count Afterlife.
Yeah, so 4 movies.
They did this movie, Ghostbusters 2.
But
then-
only 3 in this continuity.
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. So they did this, Ghostbusters 2, and then in 2016 they did the kind of reboot thing, and then the Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was a sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah. Which I'm glad. I'm glad it didn't get oversaturated. That we can, this is still the best one, but I don't think any of them are bad.
Yeah.
I think Ghostbusters 2 might be one of the weakest.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think it's roughly as good as the sequels.
Yeah, roughly.
But it still has the original cast, which helps a lot. Because Ghostbusters is the kind of movie where it works because of its cast more than anything.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
yeah.
the fact that it was ad-libbed and that they just went along with it. Bill Murray barely cared, but he was just having fun. And you had Harold Ramis writing with Dan Aykroyd. I forgot Slimer showed up at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a classic movie.
Good movie.
I hope you guys had fun with us.
Yeah, I love this one.
You know, we got to treat ourselves because a lot of times the commentaries we watch something either we haven't seen or we don't really like that much. I know we've been doing Spider-Man, but Ghostbusters it feels closer to home for us. It feels more for us than anything.
Yeah.
You know? Fun time.
We just wanted to watch this.
What does the Best Boy do again?
Huh?
The Best Boy on film productions.
I don't know.
Oh, and be sure to follow our Instagram at OddDrunkPod. Check out the link tree and leave a rating or review on whatever platform you listen to us on. We're on a lot of them. Most of the major ones: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google, you name it. I mean, who uses Google Podcasts in this day and age?
Yeah, but we're on there.
We are on there.
If you wanna listen to us there,
do that.
do that.
We're on Audible.
We are on Audible
Yeah.
and
For free.
iHeartRadio.
We're on iHeartRadio? I forgot about that.
Yes, we are on iHeartRadio.
Anyways, that's the last that's the last episode of Spooktober.
Yeah, back to regular boring old Odd Drunk podcast.
Back to boring old Odd Drunk.
We got some cool ideas for episodes, so
you don't
you fret.
No, you don't even want to listen to them. No,
but you should listen to them anyway.
We have good ideas. Don't worry about it. And it was a great Spooktober. We had a lot of fun. And there's still what I'm glad and what we should be proud of and fortunate of, at least. There's still plenty of stuff to talk about for following Halloweens for next Spooktobers.
Yes.
So
we've not run out of ideas yet.
No, get ready. But that is it. I hope everyone has a happy, fun, and safe Halloween.
Yes.
Remember, if you're an adult celebrating Halloween, don't drink and drive.
Yep.
If you're a kid celebrating Halloween,
don't eat too much candy.
And don't TP my house. And don't eat apple with razor blades in it. Or if anyone actually does that nowadays.
I don't know.
But check your candy, Just be wary.
Don't eat candy that looks like it's been opened.
And if you're someone, and I'm going to be one of these people, I'm going to give out candy to kids this year. A trick-or-treat giver, or what do they call them?
I don't know.
But
what would you call that?
I will not give the popcorn balls out because they suck. Why would you ever want that?
Don't do that.
And anyone
My coworker the other day was like, "Oh, they sell popcorn balls at Walmart. Those are so good." And I'm like, "What's wrong with you? Who hurt you?"
Yeah, who hurt you in your life?
Yeah, like
whenever I got one of those as a kid, I was like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah.
I'd rather have an apple when I was a kid than a popcorn ball.
Same.
And I had friends that like popcorn balls. Guess what? I would trade mine for their good candy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, if you really want this popcorn ball, you got to get me a king size Hershey's or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, everyone have a great Halloween. We recorded this early enough where we can also have a great Halloween.
Yes.
Even though watching Ghostbusters is a great time. And we will see you next week for a totally, not normal, but a non-Spooktober episode.
A less spooky episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all our episodes can be measured on levels of spookiness.
Yeah. And we have spooky episodes.
And then we have just
not during Spooktober sometimes. But
we've always enjoyed that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a through line with us. But we hope you had a great time watching this with us, or if you just listened to it at work or on a road trip or whatever you're doing. That's it.
Yep. Bye.
Keep it spooky.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To visit all of our current streaming and social media platforms, visit the link tree in the description. If you enjoy the show, we would be appreciated if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast would like to remind you to drink responsibly and not to drink and drive. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.
Who are you going to call? Hopefully not us. If you found our number, please don't call us. And if you do, we will block you. That's it. Don't call us.